Hello everybody, today we'll be discussing how to be successful in a public speaking class. Before taking this class, I used to be very nervous. I hated talking in front of everybody. No matter if it was a small group or a big group, I hated talking in front of everybody. I would sweat, my hands would get sweaty, I would forget most of the time what I was referring to. I remember one time I had to give a presentation in front of my coworkers, which I work around 40 hours every week. They are basically like my brothers at this point. But somehow talking to them still gave me nervous. I first noticed it when I was in high school. I thought eventually I would grow out of it, but turns out you never do. Because the way you do is by practicing, getting more comfortable in front of people, learning different techniques. And this class helped me achieve that. According to Jessica Scott, on March 2nd, 2023, around 75% of adults are nervous in talking in front of a large group or any group in general. We will learn how to be successful in a public speaking class. I will give 5 recommendations, which is planning your work, completing notes, practicing your speech, following the due dates, as well as turning in your work. The first one we're going to discuss is that you have to plan out your work in advance, because this allows you to have adequate time for each assignment compared to just rushing through it, because some of these assignments could take a little bit of time, especially when you're doing the research part. That part is very crucial, because if you don't do that part right, you lose your credibility, because you're just making stuff up and using your opinion compared to a soundproof person or expert in that field. The second one would be finish your notes ahead of time. Normally on my class, the assignments were posted in advance, so I was able to do my notes on Wednesday, get them out the way, learn the material that I wanted to, and then that would give me the whole week to make sure the actual assignment was correct, meaning that I had enough time to practice my speech, as well as to make sure my outlines were complete and 100% as I wanted them to. The third would be, as I said, practice your speech. This, due to the fact that you complete your notes already, you don't gotta worry about them. It allows you to have your notes on hand, as well as give you a whole week to practice your speech if it comes down to that. Practicing your speech allows you to have a more fluent and more conversational flow compared to if you were just reading stuff. If you just read stuff, you sound very monotone, and most of the time people could tell when you're reading, especially through Zoom, because they could see your eye move side to side. It's a very big giveaway. The fourth one will be to follow the assignment dates. This is very crucial, especially for this class, since most of the assignments are stacked on top of each other, meaning that if you do one assignment first, the next assignment is going to be done easier because you completed the prior step. So an example would be like you have done your first initial main points, which are your 3 main points. This is a guide for you to do your research and eventually do your bullet outline. If you go straight into your bullet outline, you're not going to have a very good pathway and just look up stuff and be like, oh, that's going to be interesting, but it might not be crucial for your speech. And that's why when the professor goes back and approves your prior step, it shows that you're on the correct path and that you're not going to be leaning away from something just because you found it interesting. The fifth one that we're going to talk about is turning in work, no matter if it's partial credit. This is very important because, as many of us know, partial credit is better than 0 credit. That happened to me once. I kind of messed up and I forgot to turn in an assignment, even though it was already inside the Canvas. I just forgot to submit. That was on me, but eventually I caught it. I was like, why do I have a 0 here? I caught it and I was like, oh, let me turn that in. So I did that. I was able to get a 70%, which is passing, so that wasn't that bad. Again, just make sure that you turn in your credit, your grades, your schoolwork, even if it's partial credit, because if you don't, you're gonna get a 0, and that brings down your score and your GPA very bad, dramatically. Today we discussed how to be successful in a public speaking class. We gave out I talked about 5 recommendations, which was planning your work, taking notes in advance, practicing, following the due dates, and turning in your work. Remember that according to Jessica Scott, on March 2nd, 2023, around 75% of adults are scared to talk in front of a group of people. And now after completing this class, I was able to feel more comfortable in front of talking to people. This could either be through Zoom or through physical presentation. The physical presentation I was able to practice more since I did that for my assignments, because I was around my coworkers and I was like, hey, can you guys help me out? Which that evaluated and showed me 100% that this course has helped me feel more comfortable talking in front of people, and I would 100% recommend people to focus and take this class seriously, because in the future you are more than likely to have to talk in front of a group of people. If you want to be a managerial position, if you want to be an advocate, or you just want to give a message out, you have to talk in front of people. So learning the proper techniques and step and preparation will 100% help you achieve those goals. Just keep focused, and I believe you guys got this.